Good morning. Good morning. Janet here from Tribe Sober. This morning I'm going to be talking about December. Not dry January, but dry December. That's just a little bit different, isn't it? We've just opened our annual fundraiser. We open it at this time of year, although we call it Dry January. We want to give some extra support for anybody that needs a bit of support going into this quite difficult month. And in fact, I get loads of emails at this time of year saying, oh, how am I going to get through this month with all the drinking, the parties and my family? And we always end up having a big row. And then everybody tells me I've got to stop drinking. And you can see people have a lot of apprehension about this month. So going back to our fundraiser, which can help you if you do need some help, you can find out more about it on tribesober.com. Just hit Dry January 2022. And it's quite simple. All it is you pay a small donation to a good cause, and in return, we give you online and community support for 30 alcohol-free days. So if you sign up for that right now, then we can help you get through the rest of December and right into January. So yeah, here we are, December the 4th. So whether you love it or loathe it, the festive season is upon us. And as they say here in South Africa, if you are in early sobriety or you do have issues with your drinking, then you need to make a plan. So I'm here to help you make a plan. So I've come up with 8 reasons. Sorry, I've got my notes in a muddle. I'm here to help you make a plan. So if you're in early sobriety and it's your first sober Christmas, then what you need to do is you need to change your thinking about your drinking, about drinking and the festive season. When I was a drinker, I would spot the Christmas decorations. I mean, I lived in the UK for most of my life, so over there it's crazy. September, October, Christmas is there. It's apparent. Decorations, Christmas cards in the shops, etc. So I would spot this. The first sign of Christmas, I would spot it. My subconscious mind would say, "Oh, Christmas. Okay, so." Might as well step up the drinking from now until January, because I'll have to do that terrible, miserable, dry January thing. But so I need to make the most of these next few months. And I would drink more in that period. And of course, that mindset was reinforced by the endless marketing that the liquor industry pumps out at this time of year. And mainstream media also chips in. And although I don't live there anymore, I keep up with the British press, and it's actually full of scare stories at the moment. It's quite funny. And it's, the headlines, they say things like, oh, your favourite tipple might not be available this Christmas, because of the COVID shipping issues or whatever. So rush out and buy them now. And of course, the subtext there is rush out, buy the wine, drink the wine, and then rush out and buy some more. It's purely, obviously, commercially, ruthlessly driven. So that's why, I would certainly end up in heavy drinking mode. It was always my worst time of year, that autumn. Well, it was autumn in the UK, it was dark, it was miserable, and I would drink a lot, and Christmas would be the icing on the cake when I would usually drink till I blacked out. So what I've done this morning, let me see if there's anybody there. Oh yes, Sue's there, Lynette, Mandy and Roz, hooray. Okay, guys. So what I've got this morning, I'm just thinking you're all pretty sober, you guys, but I'm hoping that some people will see this that need a bit of extra help. But I hope you sober people find these interesting. Please chip in with your thoughts on it, and I'll come to those comments later. So what I've got together this morning is 8 reasons why you should do a dry December, just in case you're not convinced. And then, of course, 8 tips to get you through, because it's all very well knowing why, just as I knew for 20 years that I would have to stop drinking. But how do you do it? You need some practical tools. So I've got those for you as well. So let's whiz through the whys, shall we, to start with? Well, December is always a busy month. I know these COVID days are a bit strange, but nevertheless, people are busy this month. We're working, doing a bit of socializing. Those moms out there with children, I know you're planning the perfect Christmas for your family. The burden usually ends up on the lady's shoulders, doesn't it? So, if you're sober, you will be able to claw back some time, the time that you usually spend, planning the drinking, doing the drinking, recovering from the drinking. If you're not drinking, you'll have more time, you'll have more energy, you'll be able to be more organized, and you'll steam through that to-do list. So there you go. Reason number one, you'll have more time. Reason number two, well, everybody does dry January, don't they? It's just like everybody drinks, everybody does dry January. So why not be a bit different? You can actually start 2022 feeling great, rather than feeling exhausted and poisoned, with excess food and drink. And then you can join the dry January crowd. You should join the dry January crowd. But you'll be feeling just a little bit smug, won't you? Because you've already got a dry month under your belt and you're feeling the benefits. You're feeling good. Whereas that dry January crowd have to get through those awful early days alone. And you've done that. Number three. Now, there's never a perfect time to stop drinking. Those of us, that have done it, we know. There's always, isn't there, a wedding or a party or something coming up. You can never find that slot where you've got, because we always say it takes a few months, to nail this, to really stop drinking. And there's never, in anybody's calendar, there's hardly ever a few empty months when you can, oh, well, that's when I'll stop drinking. Life doesn't happen like that. But having said that, this COVID crisis, it has calmed everybody's social lives down. So it will be a little bit quieter, maybe than it was a few years ago for you. So you might be able to do a dry December without your friends even noticing, which makes it so much easier because you don't have to put up with that ridiculous pressure. Why aren't you drinking? What do you mean? It's December, it's Christmas. And, what is it we get at Christmas time? But it's Christmas, surely you can have just one glass of wine. Are you still doing that non-drinking thing? We all have to put up with it, but the longer you're sober, the more easily you can just shrug it off and laugh at it, really. So reason number 4 to do a dry January. Your stress levels and your anxiety levels will reduce. You'll sleep better. You'll be able to steam through that to-do list, and you can have a bit of fun observing other people's hangovers. I always say that when we get sober, we need to turn ourselves into anthropologists. Just have a look at the hold that alcohol has on society, and how many people, have to go through the hangovers, and they're just stuck in this trap where, of course, many of us were for many years. So yeah, and if your friends give you a hard time, I mean, that's another reason why our fundraiser is so great. Because if they say, why aren't you drinking? It's December, for goodness sake. You just say, well, I'm doing 30 alcohol-free days. I'm doing it for charity. Why don't you join me? There you go. So if you're on our fundraiser, you can legitimately say that. So just go to tribesober.com and hit January 2022. Number 5, you won't have that anxiety in your heart about your drinking. I don't know about you, but I spent a good decade or even 2 decades with this inner struggle. I knew in my conscious mind that I had to do something about my drinking, but my subconscious was saying, oh, how will I have fun? How will I relax? How will I socialize? Etc., etc. So you can calm all that down a little bit. You won't have that feeling. because I always used to think, at this time of year, I'd be, okay, well, I'll fix this in January. But if you make a start now, then you're actually way ahead of the game. You're way ahead of the population in general, and you're way ahead of the sobriety game, because you're going to go into January feeling good and feeling motivated, because by then you'll already have experienced some of the benefits of sobriety. Number 6, you're probably going to lose weight, because when we drink, we just snack, don't we, basically? And let's face it, this time of year, we're just surrounded, aren't we, by delicious food and drink and snacks. And I don't know about you, but my willpower used to just evaporate when I'd had a drink. I'd say to myself, oh, come on, you're not really fat, just have another cake or biscuit or whatever I was scoffing. So you're more likely to stay on track with whatever your eating plan is. And also another benefit with the eating, still part of number 6 here, is you're not going to have to get onto the dreaded dieting train on the 1st of January. I mean, my Januaries were absolutely miserable, because I would stop drinking January the 1st and I would go on a really strict diet. I mean, now, of course, Lucy has taught us that we can't chase more than one bunny at a time, but I would be after those 2 bunnies, and not only would I probably fail at some point during the month, but it would be difficult and miserable. And now that I've, 7 years into this journey, and I'm a lot wiser, a lot older and wiser, and I think that, dry January is tough because it's not quite long enough. What ends up happening, and what happened to me for years and years, I would suffer during that dry January, and then I would go back to normal, probably drinking more than ever in February. And my subconscious would have registered that, oh, sobriety, how miserable that was, don't want to do that again. Because now we understand that you actually have to keep going a little bit longer than a month before you'll really start experiencing the benefits, and before you'll really start changing your habits on a deep neural level. And that's why we have our 66-day challenge. So if you start your dry December today, then come the end of January, you'll be feeling amazing, and you will have changed that habit, and you'll be in a different place, and you won't want to jump right back on the drinking train come February the 1st. You'll realise there is an alternative route which feels so much better. Number 7, let's talk about fun. Well, a lot of people worry that they won't be able to enjoy their Christmas without booze, and certainly I used to do that. But really, when we analyse what makes the festive season fun, if you have a family and children, of course it's watching your children, open the presents, and it's getting together with people that you haven't seen for a while. That's where the fun lies, surely. But with many families, including certainly my own, we have underlying tensions. And when the alcohol comes out, you're far more likely to end up in a blazing row than having fun together. And that's why the Christmas row is almost as traditional as the Christmas turkey. So think about where your fun is really coming from, and it's not going to come from ethanol. And think how different the day after Christmas Day will feel this year if it's your first sober Christmas. And number 8, at the very least, a sober festive season. Think of it as an experiment, and you might just love it, and you want to steam into dry January. And if you hate it, well, nobody's saying you can't drink again. We're just saying take a break, try it. So now that I hope that I've convinced you that it's a good idea to do a dry December, let me try and give you a few tips, or hacks they call them, don't they, these days. So I've come up with 8 reasons, 8 little tips. Tip number 1, unplug from the matrix. I stole this expression from one of my favourite books, which is called The Unexpected Joy of Being Sober. Catherine Gray, shout out to her. And she has a whole chapter called Unplug from the Matrix. And of course, that means just, be different, be intelligent, be smart, analyze. We're being manipulated here. Let's just disengage from all the bullshit. Be a rebel, not a sheep. I always say that us non-drinkers are the rebels because we're the different ones. Everybody drinks these days. So if you don't drink, then you're a rebel. And I don't know if any of you heard it. I think it was my podcast before last, but I read out a message from a Slack message from a lady called Robin, who's in our tribe. And I just loved it because she said that she's loving sobriety and she's loving the way it makes her feel special. And she said she feels so special, especially when everybody around her is drinking. And I love that approach, because it's such a positive spin on the fact that, we often say, oh, we feel like the odd one out and blah, blah, blah. Embrace your oddness, your weirdness, realize that you're actually special. You're doing something that the majority of the population wouldn't even consider doing, which makes you very special. And you don't have to drink this month, in spite of what the media and the liquor industry are telling us. Just observe all the hype, just as after a year, I guess, of sobriety, I could see through all the marketing. I'd watch the movies and I'd think, aha, here comes the wine, usually 3 minutes into the movie. And you can just observe all the hype. And these days, I've become quite good at observing all sorts of marketing hype. And I observe the festive season and the Christmas hype as well. The fact that we're all supposed to be the perfect nuclear family when in fact, nuclear families are the minority, I believe, in the world these days. You don't get the couple with the 2.4 children smiling around the Christmas tree these days. There's many single parents, gay couples. That stereotype of the happy Christmas family is very outdated, I think. So just observe all the hype and laugh at it and be grateful that you can see through it. This is tip number 2. So if it's your first sober Christmas, treat it as a challenge. I mean, at Tribe Sober, we're quite big on sober first, because that first year of sobriety, which is very crucial, very tough, especially the first 6 months, but you just need to get through that year. And you'll have a sober wedding. I still remember my first wedding. I felt like it was just endless, just standing there in high heels hour after hour. I just thought I was going to collapse with kind of boredom and pain, because I don't know if you've ever noticed, but when you're drinking, high heels don't really hurt because your feet are kind of anesthetized. It's when you wake up the next morning, you go, oh, why do my feet hurt so much? So yeah, you need to do your first sober wedding, first sober holiday, first sober party. You need to get through all that. And the way to get through it is to treat it as a challenge. Just kind of lower your expectations a bit. Don't really expect to enjoy it in the same way. You're not going to swim through it in a sea of booze this time. You're going to be there. You're going to be present. So, you'll just focus on getting through it, because eventually you will enjoy sober Christmas. You will enjoy sober weddings and parties and everything, but it takes time. The first one, you've just got to get through it, and just keep your head down and get through it. And your joy will come if this is your first sober Christmas. I promise you, your joy is on January the 1st. You're going to wake up feeling amazing. You'll feel so proud of yourself. And, you'll be looking forward to the new year. You'll be headache free, and you'll just be full of joy and energy and life. And the fact that you'll be surrounded quite possibly with hungover people will in fact just add to your joy. But don't be smug, don't judge. Well, just a bit. Okay, so tip number 3, quick easy one: stock up on alcohol-free drinks. When I gave up drinking 7 years ago, there was nothing. You know, we just had to put up with water or Coke or something. But these days, wherever you live in the world, there are alcohol-free drinks. And if you're here in South Africa, you've got Drink Nil Kosa. If you're a Tribe Sober member, you get a discount. And I get a box of alcohol-free drinks delivered to my door every month. So my fridge is full of them, and I'm always trying new things. So treat yourself. You know, you're doing something amazing, probably saving money by not buying booze. So spend your money on alcohol-free drinks. And make sure that your fridge is absolutely stock full of alcohol-free drinks, alcohol-free bubbly, lots of delicious food, because you know, you're saving calories on not drinking booze. There are calories in alcohol-free drinks, obviously, especially if you get very sweet ones, but you will be drinking less. I think I saw the other day that an alcohol-free beer has got something like 20% of the calories of a proper beer. I don't quite know why that is, but anyway, make sure your fridge looks festive and welcoming, not like a kind of empty, sad thing with one bottle of water in it. Number 4, get a December tracker. I mean, we love our paper trackers here, designed by Lucy. Because I know we can all get electronic trackers on our phones, but having a piece of paper that you can stick on the fridge that helps you to see the whole of December, or you could have a kind of December, January one. We can send you whatever you fancy. But the joy of a paper tracker is you can fill it in colours, colour in every alcohol-free day. Keep an eye on the big picture. Every day you'll notice, aha, 7 alcohol-free days, 8, I'm halfway through dry December, all alcohol-free, well done me. And if you do have a slip up, of course, the trick is to get right back on the bus the next day and just mark your slip up on your tracker, and then it's done. You know, at the end of December, you're going to look at this. You can say, okay, I had 2 slip ups, but compare that to your December last year, when, if you were like me, you would have been drinking 31 days. You know, so just acknowledge the improvement, and then you think, okay, let me try a dry January. Maybe I'll manage 100% this time. So if you're not a Tribe Sober member, by the way, you can email me, janet@tribesober.com. I'll send you a tracker. If you are a member, of course, you can see all of our trackers in the members only area, and you can just download them. Tip number 5. Remember that Christmas is actually just one day. Well, you know, maybe 2 days if you count Christmas, Boxing Day. And of course, other religions have it arranged differently, but wherever you're from, whatever you believe in, it only goes on for a couple of days. Don't be like me in my subconscious mind and thinking, when I saw the first Christmas decorations, aha, it's Christmas, which meant to me 3 months of upping the drinking. You know, Christmas doesn't last 3 months, it lasts a couple of days. And again, that's why the tracker is so useful. Print out that December tracker, mark Christmas Day, Boxing Day, however you celebrate. And also, if you're going to any parties, any get-togethers, you know, mark them down. Think about how you're going to deal with them. You know, make a plan. But then look at the tracker as a whole, and you'll realize, well, actually, you know, even if you're the biggest social butterfly in the world, you know, I refuse to accept that you'll have many more than 10 days out of December that you are doing something, you know, that involves drinking, you know, and avoiding the drinking, which means that, you know, you've got 20 days, which are just absolutely normal days. So they shouldn't be a particular challenge. So just, you know, if you work it in a percentage, you'll find that the majority of December is like a normal month. So, you know, don't be swamped by the hype. Number 6. Well, of course, as we're always saying here at the Tribe, connection is the opposite of addiction. So grab a friend to go through dry December with you. And if you're surrounded by boozy friends and they just laugh at you at the very idea of it, then you better join Tribe Sober and get a whole batch of sober friends, because we'll get you through. Tribesober.com, join our tribe. Number seven, well, action is the key. You know, if you're watching this and thinking, oh God, I probably should do this, but I don't know where to start, you know, I would say then just do it. Start today. Do your best. See how many sober days you can clock up in December. And, you know, then you're just at least observing what is going on, because raising our awareness about our drinking is the most important first step. So check it out, and if you can't get through more than a couple of days without alcohol, then you obviously do need to make a change, like many of us did in the tribe. So you better join us and get some support. Tribesober.com. And finally, just a final shout out to our fundraiser, because I see more people are here now than were at the beginning. So apologies if you've heard this twice. But we've now opened our annual fundraiser. It's year 7 of this fundraiser. We always work with the same NGO, Earthchild, that we love. And all you need to do is make a small donation to a good cause, and then you get 30 days of support, online and community support. You'll be put with a group of people all going through this dry month together. And all you need to do to find that is to go to tribesober.com and click on Try January. And there's a lovely graphic on the homepage as well. You can't really miss it. So I think that's it from me. Gosh, I've been rambling on for 26 minutes, so it's definitely time to be quiet. Let me look at the comments. So, hi guys. Lynn, it's your first sober Christmas. So Lynn, you've got to stay connected with us and tell us how it goes. Yeah, you've come a long way. Remember, if you think back how you were this time last year, it's just so different, isn't it? Yeah, I'll start on Monday, 1st of January. Yeah, it's a way of procrastinating, isn't it? It's just the same with the dieting. I mean, I was always dieting on a Monday. It would last till about Wednesday. Yes, yeah, we want to see those Christmas photos without the booze, please, Lynn. And Roz, it's your first sober Christmas, isn't it, as well? Yeah, we'll have to have a little group on Slack maybe, first sober Christmas, for you guys to support each other. Yeah. I mean, it's just as we say, it's the best birthday gift you can ever give yourself. It's the best start to 2022. Yeah, Christmas Day fights. Yeah, Sue. Gosh, I remember those. My mum would slave over the turkey and God knows what all morning. You know, she'd be up at dawn doing this, and by the time the family sat down to Christmas lunch, she would be in such a foul mood, and she'd be a bit drunk. And, you know, we'd spend the entire lunch arguing, people storming off. It was it was dreadful. Oh, yes. Lynette, I'm glad you had some too. I'm not the only one. Unplug from the matrix. Yeah, we need to get smart, don't we? We need to get smart. And that's why I'm loving I did my first Instagram live yesterday, which was very scary, thanks to Mandy, who gave me a bit of coaching. But I interviewed Susan Christina, editor of Wholer Sober, and oh God, she is so amazing. That woman is going to unplug us all from the matrix, and many, many other people. She's such an inspiration. Right, yeah, Sue, you've got you and your son. I've got me and my husband. My son's in the UK. You know, I might get to do a Zoom with him, but there's no way he can come and see us because we're on the red list, aren't we? Yeah. Positive spin, yeah. That Robin, our member, and she's quite newly sober, Robin, and I think she's got such a great spin. You know, I'm special. I don't drink. I'm not in the matrix like all these people around me are. Sue did a sober wedding. Wow, only 6 weeks. Endless. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, weddings do go on for too long, in my humble opinion. And that's why they're so boozy, because we need, I mean, alcohol, it's like fuel, isn't it? Ethanol, it is ethanol. We put it in our cars, put it in our bodies, and it keeps us going, doesn't it? I mean, I used to go clubbing till 4 o'clock in the morning, you know. These days, well, it's probably because I'm old as well, but you know, by 9 o'clock, I'm thinking about my bed. um, yeah, just fucking do it, Lucy. Where's Lucy, by the way? She says she'll come to Zoom, so we'll catch her later. Yeah, Mandy, we love Earthchild. Already, thank you for Sue was starting off the whole donation. Thank you, Sue. And we're already at nearly 3,000, which is fantastic for the 4th of December. Yeah, last year we managed 60,000. So I'm hoping year 7 is even better because the grand total we're nearly at 300,000, which is amazing when you think that's helped 1,000 children. So I'm so proud of that. I really am. Okay, 30 minutes. I'm off. See a lot of you guys at Zoom. If there's any non-Tribe Sober people watching this, please check us out, tribesober.com. If you'd like to come to our Zoom cafe this afternoon as a guest, just email me, janet@tribesober.com, and I'll also send you a December tracker if you'd like one. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.